Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another day, and today I'm gonna break down the financial plan. Since earlier we talked that every pitch deck should have three sectors: financial plan, business plan, and obviously the 10 to 12 slides of pitch deck. So today we are going to break down financial plan. So financial plan has five sectors. Let me visually break it down so that you guys can understand it much clearly. I had written this down in my a notebook while I was studying this shit. I mean the financial plan of business, and let's start it. Financial plan of a business. So first of all, the financial plan of the business has five sectors. It has revenue engine, it has cost structure, it has cash flow and runway, it has unit economics and KPI dashboard. So in your pitch deck for the financial plan section, you need to have these segments and you need to give a brief about how your business model is around this segment. First, let's jump on to revenue engine. So revenue engine is nothing but how much money you're going to earn every month, or it's about how the fuck you're monetizing your business model. So if you have an e-commerce store, if you have an SaaS product, the way you're going to monetize it is obviously pricing. You're going to give a price to your customer and then the customer is going to pay. So pricing is the section. Pricing and billing decides your revenue engine. So if you're e-commerce or SaaS, you provide some pricing, and billing type is basically whether it's going to be a subscription or one time purchase. So if you're a service, your subscription. If you're just an e-commerce store selling one product, you have one time one time selling thing. I mean, what the fuck do I talk sometimes? You sell the product one time. So now let's identify what factors does these pricing and billing type depends on. First of all is value proposition. If I break down the term value proposition, is like what value are you providing to your customer. Sometimes that if you consider a niche of an AI tool making slides with your AI prompt, your value proposition will be more like if you my bad so if you consider an AI tool making slides, one business may has this AI tool, but its value proposition is more. In that sense, it provides various values with this AI tool. Due to it provides various values other than the slide thing. That's why its value proposition is more. Then obviously, since it provides these other services and it provides more value, so due to that fact, its value proposition is more. It's going to alter its pricing, and compared to other AI slide generator, it will have an upper hand, right? Then comes to infrastructure cost. This is whatever expenditure is going to, if you have a product, you're building that product, whatever expenditure is going to that product, or if you have a SaaS app, you have these AWS services to run your backend, to run your models and all. So that infrastructure cost and pricing will value proposition will determine pricing. Now when you are done with when once you have identified your pricing, then we use it to forecast other sections of revenue engine, which is how much number of customers that you can gain. Then ARPU, which is average revenue per customer. It's simple. If you have a business that makes a revenue of $12 million and you have 12 customers, then average revenue per customer would be 1 million per customer. So from your pricing and billing, you can determine how many customers you can gain over the period of time. That is, it's just probability, or it's just you're going to determine this shit so that the investor will have a metrics to know, I mean to view. Your number of customers you can gain, then average revenue per customer, then the growth rate in customers per month. If I have 12 for month one, then it can become 18, it can become 30, and that's growth rate in customers per month. Now you have noticed what is this? So infrastructure cost in financial terms is COGS, which is cost of goods sold. So cost infrastructure costs, also known as COGS, they lead into another sector, which is cost structure, which should be specified in your financial plan. So COGS and OPEX, CAPEX, these are the terms that influence cost structure. So cost structure is what you spend, what you spend for your product, or what invest, what you need investment for, what expenditure goes. That is your cost structure. And obviously, infrastructure cost, which is cost of your goods sold, will obviously be part of the cost structure. Along with cost structure, there is OPEX, which is operating expenses. Operating expenses in that sense, the salaries that you're paying to your employees, or the the building that you have rented to keep your team in, the marketing, the rent, and tools comes under infrastructure cost, so you can consider to be in infrastructure cost. But with OPEX and COGS in another side, there comes CAPEX or investment. This section is like, sometimes you need that one big investment. If you are an AI company, you need that AI model. So you have to go for that one big huge investment. If you're a business who's already scaling good, if you're an e-commerce store, you need what do you call that? You need that garage, or what? Oh, I just forgot the term. Uh, in containers, yeah, some type of yeah, share. It's like you need your own go down for storing your products, right? So you can ship it to different places easily. So that's one time big expense, and that needs to be specified in a cost structure, so your investor knows, okay, this, we need these main components, and we need to go big in expenditure of these main components. Then another section that comes to build a financial plan is unit economics. Unit economics is, see, if your brand scales, and like unit economics, just break down the term unit, per units, economics, finances behind per unit, per customer's finances. So if this scale doesn't make sense per customer, does the finances going to per unit doesn't make sense, and this depends on various factors. Let's take one example. I have a service that okay, let's just consider I am selling a product. It's maybe a mug, and I'm selling a product, and the factors that depends on that unit economics is, um no, let's reframe, I'll reframe it. Let it be like I'm serving an AI subscription, and now I need to identify the unit economics for my AI subscription. It depends on various factors like average revenue per user, which we discussed earlier. Then it depends on CAC, which is which is cost of acquisition per what was it, customer acquisition cost. So acquisition, the term means that acquiring a customer, and the expenditure done for marketing to acquire a customer is customer acquisition cost. And yeah, so customer acquisition cost is one thing. As you know, we're finding how much finances or how much money is spent and how much profit we can get to get one unit. So the economics behind one unit, which includes ARPU, which is average revenue per customer, or cost acquisition customer, and along with that, gross margin. This is where you're going to identify whether you're having the profit side or loss side. So gross margin is revenue minus COGS, which is cost of goods sold, right? So revenue minus cost of goods sold, what is the profit that you can make here? And with this profit, you remove the cost of acquisition customer per unit, and then you can identify your average revenue per unit. And these factors will also these factors will affect your unit economics. But along with that, there's lifetime value, which is how much one customer pays you throughout their life. If your subscription is worth that, if my AI subscription is very important for their life, and then throughout my life they keep paying for that AI subscription, and that's the lifetime value behind my AI, my product. So, you know, Blinkit has a big lifetime value because every day a person goes, he spends at least 500 rupees, not, let's say 200 rupees on, every day he spends 200 rupees on shopping in Blinkit. Lifetime value, every day, every minute he spends money on Blinkit, and thus Blinkit has a huge lifetime value. Now, let me check if this is visible for you. Oh, let me just move my camera this side. My bad. So yeah. So another thing that comes for financial plan of a business, like another thing that you need to specify in your pitch deck is cash flow and runway. So cash flow is basically how much cash or how much the investor should put in, that is cash in, how much the investor should invest, and the invested money, how much time will it take for it to burn out, that's the cash burn. So if I investor puts in 12 lakhs, then 2 lakhs goes per month, that's my cash burn. But runway is like, if 2 lakhs goes per month and he has put 12 lakhs, then I have a time of 6 months, that's my runway. So with this metrics, this is one of the most important metrics, because now the investor can identify, okay, I invest this, then now you're going to invest in this stuff, then how much cash burn is going to happen per month. Okay, this much cash burn is going to happen per month, so from this pool of money, this much fractions of cash will be burned out, then in this much months your revenue will be burned out. Then he'll plan to invest again after those months to see your progress, or he's going to give up, or he's just going to change the system or the team behind it, just to, because investors can do that, they can change the team behind it, and just for the business to succeed. So yeah. And another section which is like a vibrant section in your financial plan segment, which is KPI dashboard. The word KPI means key performance indicator. So there's a keyword, and we are going to identify what is the key performance indicator of that keyword. Let's consider recurring revenue. Monthly recurring revenue is how much revenue do you make every single month. And if you make $12 million every month, you will show your investor that we want a growth rate, which is like, our plan is to increase this 12 million revenue every month 20% more. So 20% of 12 million, I don't know, do the maths. 12 million, like 20% more of for 12 million, then the investor is thinking, oh, they have their goals set, they have their plan set, they have everything set, they just need funds. And that's what you have to specify in your monthly recurring revenue. I mean, KPIs, you can, there's several keywords, and you can specify your key, just read the definition of API. Is a measurable metric that shows how well your business is doing against a specific goal. It's a measurable metric that tells how well your business is doing, and how you're planning to make it much better to achieve that specific goal. And that's KPI. And KPI depends on your lifetime value, or your customer acquisition cost, alpha, beta, active users, your churn rate. Churn rate is very important. Like, people would think that it's a negative factor, but so many people won't mention that in their financial plan. But churn rate is also very important, because it tells a percentage of people who are canceling per month. But this is for the businesses that are running, and they just need funds to scale more. What if you're like me, early startup who doesn't even have a single customer? Maybe I have other KPIs or other key performance indicators that I can go and explain in my pitch deck. Yep, leverage AI, figure this out. I mean, we can do it. I'm going to do it. So that's it. I mean, that's the overall financial breakdown of how you're going to build the financial plan of a business segment in your overall pitch deck. Sorry, my exams are going, so I can just give you this basic knowledge nowadays. But I'm planning something big that's going to come in next few days, where I'm going to, break down other huge fundamentals of building a pitch deck. And then you're going to be part of me. You're going to see me live pitching people soon. And I bet ya, I'm posting every day, then I bet ya that I'm gonna do this. How do you, I have manifested this shit. Okay, regardless of any fact, I'm gonna do it. So you're just going to see it, and that's it. Signing off then.